And here we go, baby. All right. Welcome to the Gap podcast, where we discuss careers, education, lifestyle, and the journey through it all. With your hosts, the one and only Gregory Bailey. I have a good friend all the way from West Virginia. Oh, yeah. Dylan Foster. What's up, Dylan?
What's going on, Greg?
Not much, man. Not much. Just chilling. Did some work today, made some money, did some real estate stuff. Life's going, man. I had the kid, the kid, my mom took the kid all day, pretty much. I did my own thing.
When you hate children, you have to do podcasts.
Yeah, right. 9 o'clock. 15 minutes past our time because someone couldn't figure out headphones or no headphones. So looks like I'm not using my Yeti mic. Let's go.
We have to use Yeti mics right now. So hopefully.
Yeah, I hope the audio quality is not that bad, but hopefully I'll figure it out with the next person. All right, man. Well, you told me before we got on that you list my first podcast, so I'll give you the overview of what I wanted to get into. So basically, what I want to get is just like I want my podcast to cover like expectations versus reality. I want to go through like everything that you ran into in your life. A little background for everyone. Me and Dylan, I forced myself to be friends with Dylan at my last job at Milan. He wanted nothing to do with me, and I just talked to him every day until he actually talked back to me. At least that's how I see it. Is that a little bit accurate, Dylan?
Yeah. I had a hard time fitting there.
Yeah. What was that one song you played every day? Every day to start off your day? I should have opened with it. That's what I should have done. It was Calvin Harris, right?
Probably. That was my electronics. I still like the highlights that was done in like 3 year phases. So like every 3 years, I kind of started life. So like those three, and I think I worked at Milan for 3 years exactly. And then
Really?
at my last company, out in Colorado, I worked there for 3 years exactly. And that wasn't like timed, it's not like I like have to pull the plug, like have commitment issues. I swear life just cycles like every 3.
Yeah.
So 2023 is going to be a rest year for me probably. I'll probably be or something.
Hey, it'd probably be better in West Virginia. Now you got a good spot. You're on the golf course and stuff, so I like where you're at. I need to come down there
once the year, so that tells you.
You haven't golfed once. Wow, dude. All right. Well, I guess let's get into it. So Dylan, where did you start off in life? Like when you were coming out of high school, what did you want to do, and what did you go to college for? And did anything change for you? Or, I mean, I kind of know what you went to college for, but let the listeners know like what happened for you. Like, what did you expect out of high school? Like, what were you thinking?
I'm from a small West Virginia town. There's not a lot of industries. There's not a lot of really new progressive ideas around. So you're really either a doctor, teacher, nurse, not a lot of variety. So yeah, parents and teachers, and they always pushed physical therapist, pharmacist, obviously doctor's great, engineer even there too. Those are very generic degrees. It's not really like preparing someone for life. And granted, like people that get those degrees are they're smart people and they are extremely successful, but for me, my life got turned upside down. I went free pharmacy out of high school. No real reason, just heard it was a good salary, and people that were smart told me to do that. And I did 2 years of free pharmacy, and after 2 years, you're required to apply for a pharmacy school. And at that point, I just was not ready for that. I just didn't do it. And it was like it was like challenging, but I kind of pivoted from there, and I was like, oh crap, all my friends are like in their 3rd year of college, and they're starting to get like real specialized. and I'm sitting here not knowing what I want to do. So I told my counselor, I was like, what's the fastest way, for me to finish this degree out? And that's what chemistry was. I know that you picked chemistry because that's your passion, right? So,
Yeah.
but there, this thing, I was kind of like, it was the fastest way out of college. And during that time, I actually double majored in industrial engineering, management systems. And that's my passion. Like, that's what I like to do. Um,
So wait, so you have a major in,
tend to that.
you have a major in industrial engineering?
No, that's another story. I probably have like 2.5, 3 years worth of credits, to finish.
Yeah.
But I started late because I started the chemistry, and that's the chemistry school and the engineering school. The schedules were conflicting, and I was forced to do that for some reason. So it was freshman.
Really?
In 2013, I was forced to medically withdraw for the semester, about midway through the semester. And, I don't know, we can get deeper into that if you want, but,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you like had any medical issues
I
around.
had already graduated with my chemistry degree, so I was just doing industrial engineering at that point. Because that's where my passion was. That's what I actually enjoyed. It was the first time in my life that school, like, I could visualize like success with like actual schoolwork, because I was always brought up with math, science. I'm great at math, but you know, it's not very exciting as like a high schooler. Like, there's no real application. Being a mathematician in college is different, but for me, I didn't care for industrial engineering, a lot of math, but the medical issue, I was forced to withdraw, came back home, got a real hardworking job at UPS, and, got, pretty sober, like working out all the time. And that's when I was really frail, and I got into the gym, and I put on like 60 pounds, in like about a year during that time.
Oh, really?
And that's when I got hired at Milan. I moved back to Morgantown. I was a bouncer at Joe Mama's. In that transition,
What?
I actually had to tell the bouncer or the manager at Joe Mama's that I couldn't work there anymore to join Milan. It's quite the step up for me. And, to be that young, that's a good job for a young person. You learn a lot. And I'm grateful for my time there, but chemistry was never the path for me. I wish I'd have grew up in a bigger city, had a little bit more exposure to some more different ideas, stuff that like it more relates to myself. Chemistry definitely interests me. It's not my passion. It's not, but people need to be warned about, and I know that's what your podcast is about, the gap, like you told this and you're given that. And, as someone who has bench chemist experience, there's a big, hard, like ceiling for that. And it's not very high. And you better be prepared to live a rough life thinking that you're smart, but a businessman is basically just dictating your life, and that's not how it should be. I hope more technical people, more people with experience on the scientific side can get more into the business aspect of it, because they're two different realms. And you constantly see scientists across all industries. I've seen, I've done multiple industries, they get belittled. I see master's degree in Boulder, Colorado, where the average home, is over $1 million, and they're asking for $19 an hour, master's degree, 10 years experience, and it's laughable.
It truly is, dude.
And
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll get more into that, but I just wanted to share this experience. So it's like 2, 3 years into mine, and I'm sure like like it takes, if you're a QC chemist, it takes like a good year to acclimate to like your surroundings, to like get what they want, get used to like doing the procedures. Cause I mean, it's hard work. It's definitely, you're definitely not going to walk into that job and be successful right away. Whatever you want to say is successful, but like, you're not going to be a good analyst, like, like a year into the job. That's just when you start getting your feet under you. But like 3 years, I get this call from I don't know, some person on LinkedIn, and they're like, "Hey, we want to, you match are like what we're looking for to a T. Like, do you want to come up here to New York, Rhode Island and get a job? And I'm like, well, like, what are you paying? They're like, $45,000 a year. Like, no,
Relocate your
right.
life, right?
Like, and I said, I wouldn't move there minimum 80,000. And she goes, you're never going to get that. And I said, I'm not calling for the job, but you're calling me. Who do you think you're talking to? Uh, but it was just so funny because it's like a chemist, like, you go to school for 4 years, you just like grind away. It's definitely one of the harder, I would say, majors. I mean, and that's bias, obviously, because I'm a chemist major, but like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's okay.
I saw
I
some
make
of the other
major with multiple things, it's not even close.
Yeah. Yeah. So but I decided that's a story for you. I thought you'd
Did
probably
you
laugh
have
at
an
that.
advisor in college?
I did, and I didn't really use her that much. Actually, that's why like I stayed a semester longer than I should have. Which is why I have a mathematics minor. Um, it was like a one-on-one class I didn't take, and like I couldn't graduate because I didn't have like this one-on-one class. It was like philosophy. So I had to stay an extra semester for a one-on-one class with philosophy. And I just like, I piled on every single piece of math that I didn't have. And I got a math minor staying like a semester, not as like a wholesome, yeah, just a semester longer, whatever that is. Like, so I should have graduated in winter and I graduated in the summer. So it wasn't too bad, but
In my
I had
advisor's defense, he said, "Are you okay with being a bench chemist the rest of your life?" He told me this. I remember because I was ready to get out of there. I was already doing industrial engineering, no future in it. I was like, "Yep, get me out of here." But he said that to me, so he knew, which was crazy. I still remember that phrase.
So actually I went over this and I don't know if I did go over it that well. So, but I talk about I remember this vividly. And like and we have like an intro class. So like every chemistry major is in the intro class. And like they go over what your expected what your expected salaries are, what your like job prospects are, and all that kind of stuff. And but they're like, this is if you just get like a 4 year degree. This is if you get like, your master's on top of that. And then this is what you get with your PhD. And first year of college, you're like, oh, like I'm definitely getting my PhD. And, like, and then just life happens. And I never went back and got my PhD, but like all the jobs that I was like looking at going into that for college, I didn't have a chance for because I never went and got my PhD. But it's whatever. I should have just went for business.
But what you know now, what you learned in that small amount of time that you hadn't been working as a chemist, you've learned like a lifetime of skills that are way more valuable than.
Well, this is what I would say. This is what I would say, and I'll see if you agree. I think if you learn the stuff that we learn right now, we're taking like 10 times more like effort and like passion into like learning it than we ever did like when we were like 18 or 20. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you learn something like I'm getting into real estate, like everything I'm learning in real estate, like I am like, it's like, I'm like drilling it into my head. Like, oh, okay. Like, so if I would have did this at like 18 or 19 or 20, like I'd have been like, oh yeah, like I kind of remember that.
Yeah, but if a realtor would have taken you under his wing, sorry, it's probably not a word, went to an open house, went to a closing, and then showed you a $10,000 check, that would have changed your mind.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, you did absolutely nothing. So you, I mean, it's just
Well, it's
crazy.
okay.
And like, I hope that
Yeah.
like, for my next generation that I can like, not tell them what to do. I don't want to tell them what to do at all. I'll be like, don't decide yet. Don't decide yet. That's what I would say. Don't decide yet. And then
When would you tell me to decide though?
when,
Like,
dude,
yeah, when?
dude,
Like,
if you ask me, neither you or me have decided. Let's be honest. So
no, I'm 31, still have yet to figure it out.
I've like learned like there's like last 2 months that I think life just comes and you're just like ready for it. I don't know what it is, but like I said, 3-year intervals. I mean, you'll be a plumber in 2025.
I mean, I'm kind of a plumber now. I'm a handyman, so I've done plumbing. I don't know. I don't know if that counts me as a plumber. But all right. Well, let's get back into the chemistry. I'm intrigued in the chemistry aspect. Like, I know what you did at Milan, obviously. Not much. I'm just messing. I still remember when you like said that you left for like 3 hours a day and went to the gym, and you're like, no one knows.
Yeah, you know, you hear this term quiet quitting now, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, quiet quitting.
But, you
That was
know, from
definitely
my
your-
understanding is I'm not clocking in or out. I'm a salaried position and I'm given a daily task. Like, there's no like extra work I can take home. Like, yeah, if they really were like saw me going and working out after lunch, maybe then they would have like been like, holy shit, we're not like challenging this guy enough. Like, let's give him a phase. Like, sorry, you know. But like, but I mean, you've seen Office Space. Like, it's the same thing. Like, but you know, employers expect 150% all the time. So, but
yeah.
I got my work done. So I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Something I wanted to cover actually though, and I know you did, is when you got called in to like deal with the FDA. How was that for you? Like, how's that experience? I still to this day I still remember Dusty Burns calling you up and be like, Dylan, how was it? And you're like, easy.
Oh yeah, Dusty probably was scared, but I mean, I was actually like kind of thrilled because it was like a very energetic like moment, like a lot of like juice flowing in this big Ford room. You know, you've seen the room before, and
Yeah.
there's pointing at papers and asking you questions, and you just tell them what you did. But I wasn't scared at all. I mean, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, yeah. I just like one of the things I love out of like the whole Milan situation was like something that was so like standard of like what we did all the time. Like after the FDA audited us, they'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did that." And it's like, what are you talking about? Like we did that every day. Like that wasn't like a big deal. Like, yeah, looking back at it 5 years from now, like, oh, we probably shouldn't have done that. But you can't say like at the time, oh, like you can't do that. You shouldn't have been doing that. Like,
Looking back, who was underneath you at the lab?
what do you mean, like, at the time the FDA was, like, auditing us?
Yeah, just like as your career at Mountain, just as right when you got started as a chemist, like who's beneath you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Like on the food chain of like, I'm just talking about like, you're the scapegoat. Like, you know, there's no other fall guy. You're the last fall guy as a chemist.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So
That's still what I think is wild, dude. Like, thinking back, like, you're responsible. You could literally get thrown in jail. Like, if they think you're falsifying data, like, you could literally go to jail. Like, and you're getting paid, like, peasant's wage. Like,
that's how it works. So
it is messed up.
nah, but I
Uh,
didn't hear anything out of that FDA thing. So whatever.
yeah. We started making hydroxychloroquine and like it disappeared. So I don't know.
Someone got
Somebody could read more into that, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. All right. So anyway, all right. So you came out of college, you came out of high school, you went into college, just picked a career just to get out. You got into it. You hated it. You hated it. I know you hated it. You told me every day how much you hated it. And then
ask like, what's the future? Like,
yeah.
there should have been more of a, you know, a Kim 1, 2, 3 senior. There should have been more movement, you know, to create this like dream that doesn't exist, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well, okay. So let's get into that. What is your hierarchy in that QC role? It's management, right? That's it. Business. That's your upward move, right?
but you gotta like treat their young people. Young people are very like, they want it. They want. And the time that I was a chemist all 3 years. And let's be honest, I was running a whole team my whole last year on first shift. And that deserved more. But I should have been at least a Chem 3 at that point. So the thing is, and now I'm sour and took a voluntary severance. So Like, I mean, you lose in some which debatable if I'm a good employee or not. Greg might not
I
think
think
so. He's on a different team, but you know, I'm pretty freaking loyal to my company. It's like I go to work and do my job. Like, I mean, that's really what you want. And really, I've learned through LinkedIn, and I hope maybe to be a coach one day, but I would say that my best skill now is I'm glue. And what I mean by that is like, I really don't have a lot of skills. I mean, but I can be glue to a company and mend, bad blood or, make better teams. Like I've learned through my career after Milan that maybe I do have a skill in that.
yeah, I think you're underselling yourself. And I I think this is the biggest problem for people just in general. It's just underselling themselves. Like, yeah, okay, I don't have many skills, but you do. You have a ton of skills. Like you multitask. I can guarantee you very well because you worked at Island. Like, you can handle high volumes. Like you can always make sure that you're getting like the high, like the top thing that needs done, and you're gonna get that done. And that all came from Mylan. Like there's a lot of skills I know you have from Mylan. So you're definitely underselling yourself there. I think that happens a lot too, like with people, is you just undersell yourself. And like but I don't know. I personally think from like if I was like hiring somebody, I don't want someone who's like, oh, I'm so great at like XYZ. Like, no, you're not. Like, I can guarantee you, I can pick out a person who's better or better off than you. So like, say, hey, these are like, this is where I think I'm strong. I think I can improve pretty much on anything. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think you're giving yourself lot less credit than what you deserve. But yeah. So I don't leave leaving Milo, where did you go from there? Like what happened? You said your next three years of life. What happened with that?
Well, as a dumb 20, well, I was actually pretty young. I was 26, but I was dumb.
Oh yeah.
Um, and took my severance and went down and bought a foreclosure
Wait, where?
in Beckley, where I'm from.
Oh yeah. How'd that turn out for you?
Uh,
I'm assuming not good since you said it was dumb.
no, it was fine. It was just a learning experience. Like no money made on it, but I did it all myself. I learned, a lot about what's possible and what's not because everyone has this dream, HGTV rips off a wall and there's a stack of money in it. Like I hear
Yeah.
that. That's just not real. Most of the prices you see on HGTV are materials only. It's that. So,
Oh yeah.
um, people get,
So okay, let's dive into that a little bit because I'm into the real estate game, baby. That's what I'm getting into. So
have you acquired anything?
I haven't. I am looking. I'm learning a lot more right now than I am like looking to buy. Like the coach, so I joined a coaching program. It's called Future Flippers. If you ever want to maybe get involved in that, let me know. I could send you an affiliate link. Um,
Oh, so
but
you're a
basically,
marketer now? Is that what it is?
no, but
It's the part is,
I do get,
you can be a part of it, but you got to sign up monthly and buy them.
uh, but no, essentially, like they're just teaching me a bunch, like just about like things you don't learn about, like hard money lenders, you know, um, just like all these ways, like fund deals that aren't like conventional. So you have like your subject to, you have like, your owner finance, you have like, you just have so many different options that are out there. You don't even realize there are like options.
What route do you think about going?
I would really like to get like some kind of, I would say like multifamily and like owner finance it. So like find like some like 80 or 70-year-old dude that like, or like woman that like, they've been in the real estate game for 30, 40 years. They made their money off this property and like, they just want to like help like a new real estate investor. That's what I would love because like, that's like an owner finance. It's literally like it's just like when you like do when you do like private money. So private money, you can wheel and deal whatever terms you want. So if I have somebody that has like $100,000 that wants to invest in me, one person might want like equity, like let's say 50-50 equity. And then another person is like, hey, I don't want to do anything. Like, I just want to give you the money and then sit back and watch me get a return of like 10%, 12%, whatever we agree on. Um, with owner finance, it's kind of similar in that aspect. Like they could be like, hey, I don't want any interest. I just want you to pay me $2,000 a month for this property. You know, that's all I want for the next 30 years. That's what I'm going to live off of.
Yeah.
And that's what like owner financing does. It opens up a world because you don't have to get like a conventional loan or like a hard money loan or like private money. You literally just pay this guy monthly. And usually it's like on like, properties that the rent is like going to cover your payment. And then you usually cash flow some from that. So, that's what I would be looking to do.
I'll say this. What kind of properties are people just wanting to give out away for free, especially if they're cash flowing big time for themselves? You know, to owner finance
Well,
really has no real benefit to that.
well, okay. So you're having what I would like to call a misbelief. So like
I can't find them.
you don't think it's possible. So like you're gonna it's
It's
like no,
probably
like
possible, but the percentage is very low.
I don't know about that. I hear a lot of
All
people
it takes
about
is one,
like
I guess, though, right?
yeah. I'm sorry, it's not owners, it's sellers finance. It's not owners finance. It's called sellers finance. But yeah. So anyways, that's kind of what I would like to do for my first deal. Um, you know, because it'd be cool because like as soon as you get something like in the millions too, like where you're like you get property management, you're getting like rent from all these people, and like I you it just like the equity like appreciates so much too because like usually like they're outdated, so you go in and you like update like rooms like when they get vacant, and then you charge more money for like your rent. Um, Typically, that's what people see, like, when people are, like, 70 or 80 have, like, this, like, you know, this, like, multifamily or, like, 8-plex, 12-plex, 20-plex, 40-plex, whatever, like, you see where, like, they haven't done work in the past, like, 15, 20, 30 years. So, like, you buy it, say at, like, 2 mil, 30 mil, whatever, um you do updates to it, you could refi and it could be like worth like 10 million more because like with the work you do to it, like once you buy it, like you update it, you just refi out, then you can pay them off. And then, you know, you have like 10 million in equity. It's a pretty cool, I would say exit strategy or like just possible idea. But
You just got to
that's something yeah, you got to do the research. Bigger Pockets podcast. Have you ever heard of them? Yeah, dude. They, they have some great stuff.
my wife
You
only
can get
listens to it every day for the last like 4 years.
really?
Oh,
Yeah, they have some really good stuff on real estate out there. But
you know,
yeah.
I got 3 properties myself, and hopefully I get my fourth. I'm looking for a piece of land.
Oh yeah, dude. We talked about that.
Uh,
You wanna go in on that?
well, it just
Yeah.
segues into that. You mentioned property management, and that's what made me thought of. You know, I'm I have all my eggs in Airbnb basket right now,
Okay.
and we've been successful with it, and maybe that's what made me overlook like moving forward, progressing. And
Yeah.
if you don't progress as a business, you kind of just fail. You can't just stay stagnant. Like I'm always constantly adding amenities, constantly adding a new board game, new outdoor furniture, just something to keep it like fresh. I think it's required.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to put my listings on multiple websites throughout. But to manage all those calendars and to sync all that stuff, information, automated messagings, automated reviews, automated cleaning tasks. I want to automate my business, automation.
Automation.
And that's where my, my passion comes from, dude. And I was doing a lot of research on all these channel managers and stuff like that, Guesty, Host Away, Evolve, Bacasa, tons of different ones. And it's just crazy what people are charging for it. And it's just, it's basic software, but it's awesome. Like hopefully it's going to make I have onboarding next week. So I plan to onboard my properties on there and be listed all over everywhere and be able to manage all those calendars all in one place and really limit, my hourly time every week. But
Yeah. So that's like the big thing with like businessman, like everybody that's big, man, they automate everything. And it's like, how can I get this to a point where I can't, I put in, they have like the 4 hour work week or whatever. Have you ever read that book?
yeah, well, I tried to audiobook it, but I'm not really a book guy. But I
Yeah.
read 2 books last year. So
I reading a book this year, and I plan on reading 4 books. It's a big thing for me.
yeah, my life.
But anyways,
I can't.
uh, basically that's like, that is the ideal, is like, hey, I'm going to start this business. I'm going to put sweat equity into it in the first like year, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to like get it down and then automate it. And then I'm out. Like, and
Yeah.
it's like, that's like the plan, right? And you just automate everything where you don't have to be there and your business still rolls.
It's all about systems, but it's tough, man. Depends what you're trying to do. It's hard to find good help. And with the skills you're learning, sometimes you can just go in there and do it yourself. And that's, very key. I have to rely on third party, handyman to come in there and mess with my pipes. Like it's being across the
That's
country.
right.
It's stressful. And that's why I considered a full-time property manager, but you know how much percentage they're taking?
10. Yeah.
I hear it's 35.
If you get a good property, if you get a big property management, you can get them for 10. I don't know about the full service, but I know like the property management side, it's usually 10% for like a property management.
Yeah, just like Evolve is 10%, but Evolve just does kind of the listing and the marketing and the pre-booking messaging, which is super easy. But I need boots on the ground, and boots on the ground are what you'll learn is the most vital thing. And I mean, at least in short term. Well, I don't really do short.
Yeah. So wait, where do you have these? Where do you have the Airbnbs at? How do you acquire them? Where'd you find them? I mean, I'm interested.
We've always had interest in real estate, and we wanted a vacation home. We always went off of location and tourism. I like being around. I like tourism because typical places stay busy. They're kind of pandemic proof in a way, especially outdoors places.
Pandemic proof, and you got to make sure pandemic proof.
Yeah, there's the historical place in West Virginia is the New River Gorge, and it's one of the world-class rafting areas, world-class, rock climbing. It's a destination for a lot of people, and a lot of people are now starting to learn that now that it got considered a national park in the last year. But we bought it for rafters. The town needed places to stay. There's really one crappy hotel, but now there's a big investor coming in and putting a hotel, restaurant, long-term. I mean, it's a boutique hotel. It's nice. But the town has 300 Airbnbs now, and there's tons of competition, and it's plaguing the town's rental economy, for locals to live. But we bought it, 3 years ago and just Airbnb'd it, and it's been okay, but I need to get more visible, and this place is going to give me a direct booking website, and I'm going to be able to promote my own brand, no matter where the location is, whether it's in the national park or it's out in the Rocky Mountains, I'll have a brand and I can promote that. And that's my plan going forward.
Cool. So wait, so that's your one location is the New River Gorge, and I'll drop it in the comment in the description. If anybody wants to go, you don't want people to direct book with you? No,
I don't have it done yet. It's next week, but they can follow me and figure it out.
All right. Well, I'll drop where they can follow you, and if someone wants to run off with Dylan, you can go. He's gonna offer you some great
That's just
amenities.
ready. I
Yeah,
gotta figure out a name for the company. You know, I am dog company names.
yeah.
Gotta be
I went with Full Circle Realty is my name,
full circle.
and then
Really?
yeah, and then I'm just bailing LLC for my handyman business. So that was real original. I don't really care about names. I'm more about the action.
Maybe you can help me with that portion of it. I'm like, I'm ready to start like a business, and I think I'm ready to like, LLC it up.
Yeah. I can get you, and I can get you. I mean, it's honestly pretty simple. You can do it online yourself, or you can just get like
Zoom.
I use my brother-in-law who's a lawyer, so he just filed it for me.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
know a guy. Nobody-
okay.
It was for
I could say he would do yours, but you're in West Virginia, so he's not licensed there. But
yeah. Speaking of that, did
I
you go to the
love,
game the other day?
I did not, I didn't. But did beat West Virginia. So what's up, baby?
Did you see the
That
highlights?
yeah. Well, I mean, I watched the game. I didn't have to watch highlights.
Okay, so that's pretty unfortunate how it happened, but it's like
I mean, we still won. I mean, Pitt still beat West Virginia. So
on a miracle, but that's okay. But what I'm not okay about is how you all handled that home field advantage. That I heard.
we talked about.
I heard some things.
I know. Did you watch it? Did you watch the interview at the end of the game?
Oh, he was
He was
pissed. Your coach.
he was so
Your coach.
yeah. He was like, that's just disrespectful saying 75% of the fans are West Virginia.
He was so mad. But I had people on the ground at the game that said that stadium pumped out so much fake noise through the speakers. Like,
Oh, really?
my father-in-law said that he was exhausted from just hearing because they were just ringing out music that was just blaring. You couldn't even talk to the person next to you. No wonder it was loud and the crowd was roaring. And I also heard they were playing like a bunch of like, Team Bop TikTok music, It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Fans can't make noise themselves. It's okay. No words.
I mean,
But
it's
I heard
okay.
they said they'll never go to Heinz Field again.
No?
Yeah, they said that they were pissed off about it. It wasn't cool. It was fake. And then you want to come over there and say that it was all Pitt. It was all Pitt tonight. It's like, nah, you guys just cranked up the speaker. You guys paid to replace them after the game. It's still like that. Thank God. I'm not a Steelers fan.
All I know is Pitt beat West Virginia, and you guys are sour about it, and so it's okay.
But
It's all right.
I think you guys are scared about coming to Morgantown next year. I think it's already like a worry.
Is this gonna be an every year thing now? Like the backyard brawl? Is that gonna be a thing now?
I don't know. I think they have to they're taking a break or something, but they sound like a couple-year deal. I don't know how it works, but ACC just needs to accept West Virginia. It's just more local rivalries, I guess. No one wants us because the dumb, toothless child, right? Yeah, is that how it works?
The summer teeth, some are here, some are there.
Yeah, I saw someone that said I was like, West Virginia was my safety school. It was some piss, man.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
But that's okay. Like, people can go to a prestigious college, whether that be, whatever, Harvard on the Mon.
Let's go. It's not anymore.
I don't know. But I'll use Virginia Tech, for example, or whatever. But there's something about going to a party school and surviving in a major that's tough. Because I'm not, not a partier. Like I partied. I partied too. I partied. It's like I ride the scene, right? But like West Virginia is known for party school. It's been in the top, whatever for years and years and years and years and years. Like it's a thing. And I saw people fail out left and right, like like soldiers in a battlefield. I mean, that's not a good analogy. It's a disrespect.
That is. But we'll clip that out. No, we won't. But Dylan's just dude.
I love the military. But,
Yeah, no, we
but
supported that.
it's tough. And going to a smart school and just studying up, like, that's not tough. Like, you have no like experience. Like, I saw some crazy, like in college, that was not in the classroom. So like,
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not tough, but it's there's definitely is a different animal who somebody can go out and party like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then show up and put out straight A's at a party school.
I mean, they exist, and those are the unicorns that really succeed. I know a lot of people from West Virginia that are doing, super like big things. Like, one
Yeah.
of my buddies is a producer for Future out in LA, like some
Oh, really?
wild crap. Like,
Yeah.
everyone has a little bit of spunk to them. Most of my friends will. I'm the,
Uh,
the runt of the group and stuck to work a 9 to 5.
That's funny. I don't know. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that statement though. You definitely learn something about yourself when you're partying and like got to study and like like past classes and stuff. For sure.
You have to learn that
That's
balance. And when you grow up in life and are faced with a huge life issue, whether it's like a medical issue, a family issue, like you're going to be faced with adversity and you better learn how to do it. And I think getting forced drunk in college is the first step to that.
yeah. You want to know what my breaking point was when I lost my job and then I lost my severance pay. That's when I was like, oh, I got to start doing something.
Yeah, exactly. That scary moment. That's what happened to me. I ran out of money and I knew I was in a small town. I had to get out. My buddy lived out in Denver and he was like, dude, I got a place so you can crash. And I left within a week's time. I was gone.
Yeah.
I left.
Wait. Okay. So you moved out to Denver. What'd you do out in Denver?
I didn't have a job. I just moved
I
up.
know, but my listeners though.
My, I moved out there without a job, which is very scary, small town, coming to a big city. Had a little bit of help from a friend, with a place to stay while I looked for an apartment. But you have to have that address. If you're moving to a big city, you have to move there first. You have to
Yeah.
maintain that address, say you're a local, and then you'll get a job. You can't get a job
Yeah.
in Denver, living in, waiting for a PA. It ain't gonna happen probably for you. So that's why I went out there and I started getting interviews and got a few final interviews and I ended up taking this window sales job. It was pretty lucrative. Like all the leads were like certified. I went to people's houses and did demonstrations and measured their windows. I had like a little like where the tape measure.
You're like the Lowe's dad, like pulling like the JPEG tab.
But oh, this window is terrible, dude. You need to replace this. But like the commissions were crazy high. Like it was a crazy job, but not reliable at all. It was based out of Boulder too. I was driving all over. I was driving up hour to take these demos, which is wild. But I learned a lot. I love getting in front of a crowd, like making them feel awkward or making them like hate me or something, whatever. But like it doesn't affect me anymore. I used to be like, oh, like, but now I like it. Like it's fun to me. Even if I'm up, like I'm fine with it. But where was I getting at with that? Oh yeah, going out to Denver. So then I applied for a cannabis lab that I wanted and they actually called me a month later and was like, you want the job? And it's the job I wanted. I was doing the crazy windows job. I had just made a deal. I was going to make like, $5,000 on it. I was like, do you want this life? Do you want a sales life? This, I got friends that are sales guys and you need to follow them.
I love that.
There's some sales comedians on Instagram. We can drop those links, but like they are hilarious, dude. It's a different lifestyle and it's not for everybody.
It really is.
Like if you're not cut out for sales, like you're in trouble. Like, and
I
yeah,
so did you have a script? Like when you were in that sales job, did you have like a script that you followed or just like
pretty much, yeah.
you wing it?
But people are
Yeah.
going to have questions and you're having to deviate from that. But it was like
Yeah.
a 3-hour presentation. I had to go at like 5 p.m. and I wasn't leaving till like 8 or 9 from people's houses. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, that's wild. And I'm assuming you only got paid commission on that job?
It was commission.
Probably.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
the
that's
commission
rough.
of like,
Oh yeah.
like you could make,
Well, yeah. If you do like a whole house windows, it's like 30, 40 grand. So I'm sure you're making like 50% of that.
And depending on the price, you were getting 50% commission. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. That's why stuff like that costs so much, is because like they pay their salesmen so much.
I told this one
Uh,
client that I was a chemist at a pharmaceutical company, and I ended up doing this, and she was like, just like you're talking about it, like she's like, but this was, I think that's why I closed the deal, because she felt bad for me.
that's funny. That's hilarious.
But I took the Cannabis lab job, and it was a small company. It was a job I wanted. I learned a lot, and I started as a chemist. At Myland, I learned one instrument, HPLC.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like ride that hamster wheel until you die, little hamster boy, like basically. But at this company, LCMS, GCMS, like ICP, like you have to,
Yeah.
granted, I'm nowhere near an expert at any of those things, but I was around,
You are.
I
guarantee
loaded them.
are.
I made sure they were on,
Yeah. Why did you remember what we were talking about earlier? Like we were talking about like last week or something, how everybody always says they're an expert. Meanwhile, like they can't even, they're like, I'm an Excel expert. They don't even know how to put like codes into Excel.
I mean, you can learn it,
So-
but
Yeah.
I wish I'd have been more technical instrument savvy, because then maybe I got like a technical job, or got a sales job, like maybe like Agilent, Shimazu, or Alliance, someone who goes,
Yeah. But I mean,
that would be
you're
a
doing
great job for you if you wanted to get back into the corporate world. And I guarantee you could get around, 120, 180 for a job like that.
well, I applied for a mass spec sales job.
What,
I never got called.
Thermo Fisher or something?
Yeah, Thermo.
Yeah, Shimazu,
I never got
Agilent, do all those, dude. You have those qualifications, and you know that stuff.
Yeah, but I never did MS. That's a problem. I never did mass spec.
Listen, I had to do LCMS. Those LCMS specialists, Shimazu, you know who that is?
Yeah.
They're a massive company. And I was like in my third interview, and I was like scared. I was like, oh shit, I don't know shit about LCMS. Well, I do a little. That's why I did it. But he was like asking me questions, and I drank before the interview. I was nervous, dude. I had to drink to like loosen up. So I was like chatty. I was just like, listen, buddy, you're going to interview guys that know this shit better. But I have other things that like set me apart from those guys. So I'm just telling you that I don't know. And I think he appreciated that, but he was probably forced to say anything. But the right person will be like, that's a guy I want on my team. Someone who's going to tell me the truth, not lie.
Yeah.
Dude.
I've found that like even during like the interview process, people don't want the truth. They want that fluff. They want you to say, oh, I'm going to do great at this job. Oh, I can hop right in and do it. Meanwhile, they'll hire that person and it'll take them a year to get where they want. And then they can't fire them because of lawsuits or whatnot. So I don't understand why companies don't want people to be honest. Like, why do you want someone to fluff their tail feathers up and like, oh, I'm this great person who can do X, Y, Z. It's like, no, like, I don't know this, but I can learn it. Like, I have all the other qualifications you want, but like, I'll just need to know like the technical terms, and like, I can easily learn the technical terms because I went to school for chemistry. I just don't get that. I don't get why people don't want that, but I can tell you right now, people do not want to hear that in an interview. They don't want that honesty. They want you to fly to their face. You're a morning person, and if you're not a morning person and they ask you if you're a morning person, you say, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I make coffee and I eat like breakfast. Like, lie. And the more you lie, the more they like you. Like, I don't get it, but I don't know.
I'll say this, that, bigger companies, big HRs, they have 8 meetings that day, and they're just trying to fill in the blanks. Oh, he said he was a team player. He said he was a hard worker. Oh, and then she sends it on to the management team, and maybe you have to like segment it so that when you're talking to an HR, and that goes for whatever, whoever, but when you're talking to them, you have to fluff it, like you said, lie, because that's
Yeah.
all. They're not trying to get to know you. They don't give a shit. They don't care. But once you get to
They
that
don't.
person that's going to make the decision, like, be like, listen, buddy, all that I said earlier, that was to get to this point. Let me be straight with you. Like, you know, whatever. Tell them you're a guy.
You know, my favorite memes of all time is like when you're in an interview, you just keep pouring your water and you like overflow it. And then when they ask you if you're
Always
nervous, you're like, no, I just 100%.
It's not going to work.
I'm still waiting to use that one in an interview.
I think eyes
But
work a lot. Eyes can show strength. You can basically like stare at someone until they give you a job. I think that's possible.
man, I don't know. I've noticed that like over the past 2 years with COVID, I have a hard time making eye contact with people now. Cause like I was only going to the gym and people don't like when you look in their eyes at the gym because it's just like,
Oh yeah.
it's creepy.
It's like you saw them. That's what happened.
Yeah, especially this year old naked dude.
That's what I had at home.
Yeah,
I'm about to
yeah,
get
that's
song.
you never get away
Songs
with
there, Dad.
That's funny. All right. Hey, so we got a little bit left. I wanna get more into your life, dude. I know, but like what's your home life like? What do you do? What do you like to do? And what kind of is like led you to get actually let's get into like what are you doing right now? Because I know that what you're doing, but like it's not the QC chemist thing. It's not like it's not window sales. So like what are you doing now?
I work at a high school, and I basically help kids through a program called Communities in Schools,
Okay.
which is completely not what chemistry is, right? I mean, it's essentially some type of
Yeah.
social work, but I'm able to help kids in all different facets, whether it's basic needs or mentoring, homework help. I'm kind of like a sidekick at the school that can help any kid through any situation, which is very strange.
I like
I'm not the ideal role model, and this podcast is going to reflect poorly. Um, so you can't tag me. You have to like do a fake name. Yeah, my last name's not listed, so don't list that.
I won't list that.
Or you can just put like an alias. But yeah, I'm able to help kids, and it's super rewarding. I don't get paid a lot. It's a school system. And talk about being underpaid. Like
Yeah.
the society is about to shift. I think we're about to shift to virtual school or charter school. There will be two choices. I think the overhead of public schools is going to be gone in 10 years. No teachers.
Do you think so?
All the teachers are quitting. No teachers are applying. There'll have to be these, virtual classes. One teacher can teach, 50,000 kids. I mean,
Yeah.
and then education will maybe increase, but, I do that. So I help kids, and on the side, I'm in SaaS sales. So I do demonstrations and stuff that
Well, I can tell you right now, nobody knows what SaaS is. So let us know what SaaS is.
software as a sales model. So subscription
Thank
service sales. So, when you have QuickBooks or something, you're paying for that service every month. What's another one? Netflix is kind of a software for sales slightly. But I sell lab software that helps automate workflow, mainly through all different kinds of labs. But it helps labs automate a lot of manual entry and a lot of data send out. It's kind of boring, and no, it's not very podcast friendly, Greg.
What do you mean not podcast friendly? Everything's podcast friendly.
But
We
my
like the
operation
learn here.
background from being an operations manager out in Colorado, that's what led me to this job. That's why I was picked out from my experience. So that's why I keep telling you, like, just keep getting experience. That experience is going to lead to the next experience. So you always have to keep experiencing. And that's what I'm really glad about leaving Milan, because if I'd have stayed at Milan, I would have kept getting bigger. I was like 260. I was just lifting weights and drinking beer. And I would have probably
You were
275. I mean, my blood pressure was like 160 over 110. I was ready to have a stroke while I worked at Milan. Living in Morgantown, drinking, that's the norm. That's what you were brought up to do. And it ruined me. And moving to Colorado, I moved down to about 240. And I'm probably about 225 right now. I'm the smallest I've been in a while. My mom showed me a picture of me like in 2016, and I was like, oh my God, like But no one tells you that. Like it's crazy.
I mean, you weren't like massive to the point where like you were like fat. You were just big, dude. I mean, you were like a power lifter almost kind of like
But
like
I was so obsessed with gaining weight and being big. I had body dysmorphia. You know, I was
yeah.
obsessed with it. Like I did no cardio, and now I love to run. Like running's my favorite thing. I like running more than lifting weights, which is tough, but I like to box. Boxing's one of my favorite things.
I personally have never understood like the people that just want to like lift to be like super big. Like I don't know.
There's a
Like
point in your
if you,
life where you get a switch. There's a chemical in your brain, and it's a mental illness. Is what it is. People,
for sure.
people don't want to hear that. I mean, people are gonna be really mad. Like, I'm gonna have bodybuilders at my door, dude. If you post this tonight, dude. I'm going to fight them off, dude. The thing is, they can't
Like,
fight.
I don't got something wrong. I don't got something.
They must go you just go down the middle, you know. But
Have you ever seen that? There's that one guy on Instagram, and he like makes fun of like just fit people like in general, like himself, and he's like, I want to eat like 200 grain protein today and like 15 burgers.
I mean,
I don't know.
I did it.
Pretty fun.
I did it, so I can say it. I mean, it was a mental illness, a part of my life. Like I was so programmed for that, and I can see why people do it. There's nothing wrong with it. You can be healthy with it. I was doing it unhealthy because I was drinking and eating late night all the time,
Yeah,
and if it messed me up. But
yeah.
yeah. So now I'm actually like going on like 20 days haven't drank something. So
Really? I'd like to do that, but I like beer too much as I'm drinking a beer.
no, that's fine. I plan to drink. I'm not doing it to stop drinking forever. Oh, I'm looking down on you like for that beer.
I I see, my thing is I don't understand. I hate people that push beer or like just drugs, whatever. Generally, like on people. I also hate people that are like sober that like make you feel bad for drinking. Like, okay, you're sober. I don't care. I'm not asking you to take a drink. Like, don't make me feel bad for drinking. Like, I know, like if you have a problem, like that's different. But like, I like a beer. So what? Like, I am not getting drunk every night, but I'm not, like, I like drinking beer.
If
Like,
so
so
mad
now,
at you for drinking a few beers a night, they need to look
what's
at what
up?
these kids are doing now. Like,
Oh, dude, it's wild, dude. Kids are like a different level nowadays. Like, we thought we were like cool ding dong ditching people. Like, kids are like taking like a shotgun with like pre workout in it and then going ding dong ditch.
they're doing some wild, man. It's wild stuff, man. But
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. When you're like when you were doing like the teacher thing and like kids were like tearing like toilets and stuff apart, like all that TikTok challenge.
oh, it's wild. There'll be like 100 of them in a stall. Like it's super weird. Like and they're sitting all their vapes. You try to stop them, and they can't. I'm not into the discipline. I'm not supposed to get kids in trouble. I get kids out of trouble.
Yeah,
So I work on like anger stuff. Uh, walk them down, calm stuff. But it's crazy. This group seems to be lighter so far. Not a lot going on, but it'll get antsy here.
that's good.
Once it turns cold, they'll get crazy. But speaking of what we were just talking about last, I forgot. Now that I'm sober, if I was drinking beer, I'd probably remember.
Yeah, probably.
Uh,
I don't know.
it was
We were talking about God.
drinking and drinks.
No, we
Like,
weren't
we're
talking
talking about
about
drinking and
drugs.
drugs. We probably have more listeners.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I had 17 last episode, not including you. So it's gonna be
Oh
18.
yeah, that's what we're going to
Let's-
get from drinking. So I wear this whoop strap or whoop, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like an
Yeah.
Oura ring. Apple
Yeah.
Watch doesn't
Yeah.
get it done.
I've known a lot of people that wear it.
And it gave me a monthly report last month. And I document a journal every morning, say what I did that day. You can select what you want to do. You can do like a 3-pick journal or like 100 questions. And I pick things that I do, and drinking is one of those. So if I had alcohol that day, and every time I drink, it said that I have a 13% reduction in my performance from drinking
Really?
beer. So
That's wild.
by drinking beer, your body performs 13% less. So like as in a class, if you were doing a class, that means you start the semester at 87. That's tough. It's tough to get ahead, when you,
Yeah.
and, from an athlete's perspective, drinking's bad. And I hope to like not lean in on that as an evening crunch, moving forward. Like sometimes I hope I can find, a new hobby that can, whatever, but social events, football games, weddings, I'm going to drink and have fun, or a UFC
Yeah.
fight. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not going to look down on you, but just from an athletic perspective, 13% is a lot.
Tea. I drink tea when I don't want beer. Green teas.
I'm into fruit. I like fruit. I've been eating those little cutie mandarins, whatever.
Who would like fruit? Fruitcake. So I'm just messing. All right, man. So, all right, we talked about everything with your job. We talked about high school to college, college to work. Is there anything that you want to talk about that, like, you think would be, we're at like an hour mark. So is there anything you want to talk about? People on here, like, got any advice? Got any self-education that you're high on? Any certifications that you took? Any skill sets that you're super high on? Let us know. What do you got? Anything else?
I don't know, man. I don't know anything. Like I said, when I go up and, look at whatever, I mean, jobs are tough to get right now, but you just got to be yourself. You got to find your way through the pile of resumes. How do you do that?
It's so funny that you say that, because I hear all the time people say, "Oh, there's so many jobs out there. Jobs are so easy right now." I applied for probably, I would say, 50 to 60 jobs. Um, I mean, I was just mass applying. So like, granted, take that with like a grain of salt, because like when you apply, like you've really got to go in and tailor your resume. Like you can't just like make a resume and like then mass produce it and sell it to like every company. It doesn't work. Like you got to go in, you got to tailor your resume, and you got to say like, if they say they want a high skilled output worker, you got to put that somewhere in your resume. Like, you know what I mean? Like you've got to hit those keywords, because there's an AI behind that is searching every resume, and it's only kicking out the resumes that match that search.
And well, just think about all this technology. Like, I could write a paragraph, you could write a paragraph, and I guarantee a technology could tell us, like, what our like hobbies are or what our attributes are.
It is wild, dude. I think people don't understand how great data, like people like that have like people that own your data know everything about you. They know literally everything. Like it's crazy.
People
Like
still
they
get data
can,
for free every single day, and they like think that oh, this is a cool little app. This is they're giving me 5% off. It's like, no, they're tracking your whole life. Like they're gonna basically be like, just gonna buy a hot tub and next year, I guarantee it. Like they're like, oh,
did you hear about how wild TikTok is with like their data? They measure down to your keystroke. They know what you're typing in your phone. Like it's wild. Like they literally have everything on
like political stuff around TikTok. I'm sure there's a lot of talk. And this podcast could turn into a political podcast real quick if you let it.
No.
But
Right there, my friends Nico and Thorne, they want this to be a political podcast. I said, no,
we got a DC correspondent to that.
Yeah, I'll create another one if they want to do a political podcast. I could definitely get real into that real fast, but
no, but
I don't know.
TikTok's a dangerous thing. I think the algorithm is set a certain way. I'm not saying that it's a harmless app, but data app, but just like Facebook. But I think these apps can just push out what they want. I've heard that the algorithm in China is very scientific based. A lot of like science experiments, cool stuff, and then in America, the algorithm is set to like pull the toilets off like bathroom in school. So like, I mean, there's a difference. I mean, it's obvious.
I've actually, I have heard that one where they like promote like education and like smart, like being smart, like in like China, and like here they'll like promote being stupid, like shooting like a bottle rocket out your butt, like will get promoted and like the US.
I'm not political. I'm not whatever. I hate it. I hate politics. It bothers me. And I wish a lot of people would get off the TV, get off the phone, and go out and just like live and like make relationships with people and live life outside, because their life's just being manipulated by algorithms. They don't even know it. And they think that they're thinking a thought that they thought of and they didn't. They're just little robots. And It's sad on both sides. And I hope, I think there's a group of people that's pushing against that, and hopefully it can work out. But I'm scared. I'm scared about the future.
Dude, it is crazy you say that though. Like literally an algorithm is like, it makes you think it's your thought, but it's not your thought. Like, it's like, oh, like, I love people that are like, I don't watch the news. It's like, well, like, do you get news from like other people? It's like, well, yeah. It's like, well, where do you think they get their news from? It's like they get it from the news. But like, you get like secondhand information, which is like even worse than watching the news. Cause now like you think you're getting like this information that's like not from the news, and it's from the news, but it's also being like filtered to you from somebody who watched the news. So they're like, oh, like they're like paraphrasing it. It's even worse than the news. It's like,
I use
it's pretty
Instagram,
funny.
Twitter for the news, unfortunately, and those aren't the best options. But
Hey, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I get
Honestly,
viewpoints from all angles. So like, far right,
yeah,
far left, middle. You can kind of balance those thoughts and really kind of see what's going on sometimes. And I wish people would do
I'll
that.
tell you. I'll tell you this, I got out of it. I'm like reading books now. I'm doing like a lot of like self-educating. YouTube's big for me right now. I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, dude.
I can't watch YouTube.
I mean,
It bothers me. I just can't do it. I need to.
you gotta find the right ones. I can't watch like the stupid ones where like they're like trying to catch your eye, like, like, oh, watch it. Well, I'm doing this. Like, I don't know, but like bigger pockets podcasts, they have a good one. Alex Hermosi, I mean, he's like all sales, like all like, he's like big into like growing companies. I don't know. Those are like the two I'm watching a lot, like on YouTube right now. But I'm just trying to get like more intentional about my like my downtime now. It's not like, not just like watching like, I mean, I still watch TV every now and again, like House of Dragons. Like I've been watching that, like Lord of the Rings, shows I'm like super interested in. But like at night, like I'm not just like randomly searching for an hour of watching it to pick a movie that I'm going to watch that I'm not even going to watch. I'm just going to sit on my phone and like go through Instagram. Like, I've cut that out a lot. It's kind of crazy how intentional you can get. I think my screen time was like 3 hours, um, before like Instagram and stuff. And now it's like lower than an hour. It's like 45 minutes. And then half the time I'm on my Instagram, it's like business oriented. Like I'm watching people that like flip houses or like wholesale or like, so it's not even like I'm just like on Instagram, like scrolling like aimlessly. Like I'm like getting on a topic that I'm interested in and I'm like searching that.
But
So yeah, I think technology can either be used for the good or the bad. If you want to waste your life away, I mean, there's so much entertainment out there that you can choose. But if you want to get educated, I mean, you can I mean, sky's the limit. There's so much on there. I mean, you can literally go and take like a whole college course on YouTube. I mean, they'll have like every course uploaded from like MIT if you want to. So yeah, I know you've done that like on like online, like you've taken some like master class courses,
yeah, they didn't work out.
for like this. So like, what's that?
It didn't work out. I
No.
read a couple pages and I had to do something else. Life happens. You mentioned what I do. I have, I have a main job that I work all day. And then I have another job that I work in the evening while I babysit two of my children at the same time while my wife works. So I'm a dad completely in the evening and I work in the day. So I don't have any time off.
But man,
When I watch them, I'm by myself. So, it's kind of like being a
yeah,
single dad in a way. And she's a single mom doing work when I'm working. So we both have extremely tough. We could both just get a 9 to 5 or put them in daycare and then watch them for 3 hours in the evening. But, we spend a lot of time with them. It's going to be beneficial, hopefully, to have that time.
yeah,
Time is
that's what I
money.
hear.
See, money is not. And
Yeah,
most people will learn
I hear
that
you.
once they start making money. Until we talk about
I,
systems and stuff.
that Alex Hormozy dude that I was talking about, he says like, you can make a bunch of money now, but then when you're 50, like, what are you gonna want back when you're 50 is your time. So I thought that's pretty cool. Like, like right now you're worried about money, but then when you're 50, you're worried about time.
Him and
So
it's
like,
just all same headline on LinkedIn.
oh, do they?
Different like numbers, like for the like I helped 10 million and this and that. Like, she's fine. I'm like, why are they different? Like they're the same. I don't. I don't know why I did that.
I don't know.
But I guess it's like they're
I don't
trying
know.
to catch both ranges, I guess. But speaking of that, I saw
Well,
a real estate article. To one of the biggest single family firms in the country. They're ceasing acquisition of homes in 35 cities across the country.
perfect.
Why would they do that?
Great. Because the market's going down right now.
Market's about to go down, and they see it. It's just going to dip a little.
Yeah.
It's going to come back up. Inflation's going to keep going up and up and up. They're going to have to like make new
Well,
money.
here's a problem. You're buying $130,000 houses that were selling for 200,000. I mean, and people still think that their $130,000 house is worth 200 right now. I mean, that's what I'm running into right now is like, there's this house that's completely dilapidated. Literally needs completely renovated. And there's two houses I'm actually looking at. One needs like completely renovated. It's a good house. It just hasn't been updated since like the 60s, 70s. So I mean, it's 50, 60, $70,000 to fix it. So are you going to pay market value, then go in and spend all that money to get it back up to like the market value? No, like, but these people don't understand that. They're just like, oh, market value is 220,000 for a house. It's like, well, yeah, like for a 3-bedroom, two bath, it's 220,000, but you literally don't have any hardware floors. Your kitchen hasn't been updated in 50 years. Your bathrooms haven't been updated in 30, 40 years. And like, you still want market value. It just doesn't work like that. And then like, there's this other house that's completely trashed, completely dilapidated. They want like 170,000 for it. It's like, what are you smoking? What crack are you smoking? Like seriously, like your house is not worth even like 100,000 because it literally needs completely redone. Like, yeah, you have a structure, but it needs completely redone. Like, I don't know. So people are just living off like that high of like people's just literally throwing $50,000 above asking for any house, and it doesn't really matter. They just want in a house. And I think that just came from like people like getting remote jobs that had all this money saved up, and they were finally like, I could buy a house, and they have no clue as an investor. They have no clue what a house is worth. So they see like a $230,000 house. It's like not renovated, and they'll offer 50,000 above asking, but like they're not going to realize what their life's going to be like living under like renovations for the next 3-4 years of their life.
What are you going to do during those reservation times? How are you going to pay for that?
So I have like $80,000 in my 401k. There's a website that you can, if you have a self-directed IRA, you can actually like move that money to fund, and then you can fund your deals, your real estate deals with that. It's really like, it's like a risk-free like move to like in real estate. So like say you wanted to fund a deal, say you have 200,000 and like not like a self-directed IRA, you can move that to the fund. That fund then like, it's like an online fund. I can then go and request that gets moved to like my escrow. And then that money funds my like escrow. What you get out of that is you get out like a deed, like, so you get like a note or like a deed of trust. So you get basically like a lien put on the house saying like, if I sell this house, like Gregory Bailing owes me $200,000. So like, and I'm buying, say I'm going out and I'm buying this $200,000 house that's going to be like an after repair value, which is ARV of like, say 320 or 350. I mean, those numbers are quite inflated a little bit. I mean, typically like what you're going to look at is like 30,000 or 20,000, like on like a $200,000 house or a $300,000 house, like profit. So like, if I buy the house for like 300,000, it's probably going to be like an ARV of like, say I'm doing $50,000 of renovation, that puts me to 350 with like, after like my loan costs and everything. If I sell the house for like 400,000, I'm probably only making 30,000 with like all the costs, like closing costs, all that kind of stuff. So like, that's what you're looking at. But like when that money gets pulled to me, I give you the deed of trust, and it's like a risk-free investment for you. Cause if I fail on the flip, you get a house that's worth $400,000 essentially. So like, yeah, Like you'll get a house that's 300,000. You'll have to like find someone to do a deal, but you're not out the 300,000. Unlike say crypto, where you put 300,000 in crypto and it crashes the next day, and then you just have nothing to show for it. Like like real estate investing for me, it's always been like almost that risk-free investment. Like you have to find a good deal, obviously. Like you can't just like go and throw a bunch of money at like a bad deal. But like if you find like a good deal and you're like investing in like a good deal in real estate, it's the only thing that appreciates through like any hard time or good time. It like it doesn't ever depreciate.
But
Like
flips can be
like
nightmares too, though. It's not all gravy, is what they're saying either. Can you?
yeah, no. I'm not saying it's gravy. Your numbers have to be good. At the end of the day, if your numbers aren't good, you're not going to make money. But that's just like anything in life. Like if your number, like if you open up a business and like you're projected to make, $1 million in a year, and but your projection is based off of like these numbers that don't make sense or this data that doesn't make sense, and you like sell 300,000 in that year, that's a risk as well. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to be good at evaluating like your business model and like your strategy. And like in real estate, that is like your business model and strategy is like, okay, is this house good to rent? Is it good to flip? Is it good to burr? Is it good to like, do a short-term rental, a long-term rental? Can I Airbnb it? I mean, there's so many exit strategies in real estate, and I'm really only scratching the surface.
Well, you have more than what most people have. That's quite a bit of money. Have saved up for that, and you got to use that a lot of different ways. For me, just from what I know, I'd probably use that and buy like 4 different properties that are going to cash flow immediately, and
I thought about it.
and do that. And if I want to fix them up a little bit, but I'd work on getting those 4 properties and cash flowing all 4 of them, and that's putting money back in my pocket slowly. And then you're going to become, maybe hopefully more credible by the bank, and they'll be able to lend you more money. And then, a few years down the road, you'll sell a few and 1031 exchange into an apartment complex. Because
Yeah.
you want to be finding deal. I mean, you want to be able to like, find these deals and set them up and make them money, right? I mean, but you can also get money to flip. I think you like the contractor part of it too, but I tell Lindsay this all the time, be careful what those bigger pockets guys are telling me, because those bigger pockets guys, they got in when the getting was good. They got in during the recession. Most of them got in 2008, and they killed it. All of them killed it. And they're talking to us about how easy of a journey it can be sometimes. And it frustrates me, because she comes and she's like, this idea is great. I'm like, yeah, it was great when you got a deal on the like now their house is appreciated, 400%. No shit, they're flowing in dough. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
and now in a tight market,
I would say they're pretty hesitant on being like super like you can do this. They're like it's possible, but like it's hard. But keep going. I don't know.
I forgot.
Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted
No,
you. That was
you're
rude of
fine.
me.
It worked. Oh,
You can do it.
I feel like Joe Dirt and trying to remember from my past.
They're getting upset because it's so easy and they were flowing through it.
Oh yeah,
Like
like there's
they're
guys want to act like experts in today's world, and they can definitely teach good facts, like good ways to make money, but it's not so easy. Like, to burr and like I know guys that are burring and they spend all this time and money, and then they cash flow like $100, and my strategy is to have unique property. Unique property, that's one of, if you've read a real estate book, uniqueness is one of the main terms that makes real estate valuable. If you have the same house as everyone on the block, your houses are valuable. And that's where some of these big cities, where these places are not acquiring homes. Like if I would have lost my home in a recession in Colorado, I would have had to foreclose if I lost my job. I couldn't sell it. I was $100,000 underwater on it. If it like goes down. So it happened in 08. And it may happen a little bit this time, but this time there's so many more real estate investors. I'd be scared to see the actual percentage of real estate that investors that own homes in America. It's probably scary. In this next go around, they also are did like another series of funding, and they raised like over $20 billion. This group I just told you about that stopped in 35 cities. So they're collecting money right now, literally. Big firms that see data like no other, the biggest, strongest, smartest people are pausing and collecting money. What's that tell you? I'd wait. I'd wait. And, you know, if you find an awesome deal, go for it. But for an average deal, I'd wait. If it's a killer location and something sweet, something unique, go for it. But if it's just one of 20, then I'm going to pass. That's my option. But slide 80 grand, you should come down to me. We can open up a bar down in New River Gorge. You can start a brewery. Seriously, you can use that chemistry.
Okay.
You can use the chemistry. I'll set up the distribution, and we'll have the best brewery in the state there.
I thought about it. It's definitely like on my retirement thing, is like just to start brewing on the side.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I probably shouldn't tell people, but like, West Virginia is still to be had. It's still to be had. There isn't a major. Who's the major player in Pennsylvania? Would you say? Who's your favorite?
I really looked into it. There's a pretty big investment firm that's like moving in to Pennsylvania right now. They're trying to like make a stamp on it. I can't remember what their name is. I actually almost applied for a job for them, but I was like, no. But I mean, right now, like the big like the big firms moving in and buying up all the real estate. But I mean, it's honestly the real estate, like the little real estate investors, like issues. The people that are wholesaling all these other like equity firms, like private equity firms, and like because they pay more money, the house is gonna be gone.
How close?
Like, good luck. Like 30 minutes. So pretty close. The problem with I have in my area is it's just so different depending on like where you're at. Like some locations are really good, some locations aren't. It really just depends on like what you're around. Like, I mean, South Fayette is like a pretty like sought after place, like county right now. Like there's a couple of places in Pittsburgh. I don't know Pittsburgh too well right now, like to like try to figure out like where I'd want to buy. I'm going to try to stick around like my area in Cannabis, just because I know like what's good around here and what's not. But we're going to learn, man. So
We're going to local, whatever,
but,
figure something out.
hey man, we're going on like an hour and a half. I don't know if everyone's going to listen this long. I hope they do. So if you get to this point, drop a comment, like it, subscribe, because that means you listened to the whole thing. I thought Dylan brought a lot. We'll have to have him back on, dude. This guy has a ton of
other ways too. I can get wild if you want. I kept it pretty tame tonight. You just wanted a background, so
yeah, dude. We'll go story 2. I'll have you on like in like a couple of months or something. If I'm having a hard time finding guests, you definitely back on for sure.
Having a guest makes a podcast good. I think that's why my YouTube channel just didn't work out really. Well, I mean, I still wanted to have it, but
yeah, well, we'll get into that next time. So
yeah,
all right,
UFC podcast.
We're gonna have a sign off, and I'm gonna ask you this: if you had one thing to say to your younger self, what would you say?
Wait.
Yeah. You heard it from the man, Dylan himself. Wait. All right. This is The Gap Podcast. Thanks for signing up. Dylan, don't sign off. We need to let this upload. All right, guys. Thank you very much.